This is Sofia with the Empower Love Way. And today I wanted to share about the importance of returning to the emotional body and to your own embodiment. And so why is this important? And I do believe in the past 2 years, this is something that, in a way, the evolution, our own evolution, is calling us to return home to our body. So, the returning home to our body, to your own connection, to the connection of what is alive within you, it's truly, truly important. Because as you connect with your internal world, with your emotional body, your emotional um, body, your emotions, then you can really begin to move from a place of as an emotional human, as an emotional self. The emotions, I keep repeating it over and over again. The emotions are the language of your soul. And as emotions are the language of your soul, they're guiding you, their message and signaling you what is alive within you. When you feel happy, you are in a place of enjoyment. When you feel at ease or at peace, you're in a place of harmony. When you feel afraid about something or nervous, about something, then you're in a place of conflict within yourself. There's a disharmony within you. And when you're frustrated or when you're angry, there's also you're in a place of defending yourself. And so protecting yourself. And so all emotions are giving you information about your experience and about how you are being, what is happening in your experience. Through our evolution and because of the systems or structures we have created in that evolution, we have highly focused our experience through our mind. So understanding who you are, defining who you are through not only the doing, but through the thinking, through the mind, through the way of, in order for this to exist, I have to prove. In order to believe it, I have to see it and prove it. I have to have evidence. And so we have gone and placed our attention and value to the amount of vast information we can hold and retain in our brain, how intelligent or smart we are, and we have become deficient in our emotional body and therefore too in our spiritual body, because when we started to understand our life through explaining life and defining life, we went to our head and we disconnected from our emotional body, from your heart, and from a spiritual the spiritual world as well. We begin to classify things, define things, label things, and we almost like took the soul and spirit out of it. We took ourselves out of it in the process without realizing that we did this. This simply happened when you, in a way, like, we created a sense of numbness in our experience. And so the importance of returning to our emotional self as mammals that we are, that through the experience and evolution of being a mammal, we created an emotional bond with others. That's why we are tribal beings. We are meant to be connected with one another because we are connected in that resonance through the emotional world. that when you feel inspired, you're emotionally connecting to what inspires you, what you love, what uplift you and elevates you. When you feel that you love something, you are connecting to the emotional world versus when you think something, or when you think you should do something, or you should have something, and we go to the head. And that's the developing on the head. From the mental structure, there is rules in our society, depending on the culture, depending where you live. We design certain structures of the way we should behave, what you should accomplish, this and that. And so the importance of returning home to yourself, it's the connecting and reconnecting to, the mental aspect, and yet to your emotional body and to your spiritual self as well. And it's almost like we're reweaving that, we're reconnecting that. And so why to continue, why is the emotional body and reconnecting with the emotional body important? Because in the resonance of our emotions, you can connect with a tree, you can connect with your pet, you can connect with your child, you can connect with yourself. You connect and resonate from the energy of love, from the energy of enjoyment, from that resonance of love. When you look at your child's eyes, when you look at a lover's, when you look at your pet, when you look at a forest, when you look at the ocean, you connect with your emotional body. You begin to resonate at that frequency, the limbic frequency of your emotions, and you begin to come into oneness with life itself. You begin to reunite with the web of life through the resonance of your emotional body. And you begin to integrate into the larger web. When you're contemplating the sunrise and you come back into presence, instead of defining or explaining the sun through your emotional body, through that witnessing of the sun rising or the sun setting, you come into resonance with life, with a beating of life, with that pulse of life itself. You reweave yourself back into the web, and that is what happens. The shift that happens is that you experience, you become present, you presence, you're in the presence of your divine presence, and you're present with yourself. You're present with the moment. You're alive in the moment, awakened in the moment, in the experience. So the level of experience kind of comes here, drops. Instead of explaining and defining, oh, the sun is this and this and this and this is happening, blah, blah, blah. No, you're just present. You, in that resonance of being present, you become one with the whole experience. You put yourself back in connection with the whole. So instead of separating in the explaining and the defining, you unite yourself back into the whole. That's why, in the sense of when you connect with what you love, there's a natural state of true belonging, of wholesomeness, completeness, and worth. Not it, like, it's in it. Whereas when you tend to go to head and explain things, that's when we begin to that process of separation. So, and then that, in that resonance, in the emotional resonance, you connect with something bigger. Now, when you're in that resonance of love, of contemplating the sunrise or the sunset, you see God in that experience. And so you bring the spirit back into your experience as well. This is why it's so crucial and important that returning home to ourselves and into your body. And there is a quote that I want to share because I love it so much. It says, I'm going to read it to you. Let your body call you back into yourself, into your most deeply embodied self. Land, dive, soar. Find the crumbs that lead back home. And the quote is by Cheryl Plant. And I just love this quote. And so this is why it's important. And so then tool, I can give you a tool that is when you go into your head that you see that you begin to explain, define, then through your breath, bring yourself back. You can place your hands on your heart or you can tap your body to help you return to your body. And the process that I always use, and you can also go into nature and just contemplate the sun, contemplate a tree. So it helps you to come back into that resonance. And but something that I do and that it helps me remember and return to my body is when something triggered me, when something took me out of my alignment, either to my head or to over exaggerated response or reaction, then I know I have to come back. And so I take 5 minutes to breathe, come back to my breath. I connect with the sacred within me, with the power of love within me. And I begin to breathe into the power of love within me. I begin to tune into the sacred within me. And once I feel that I'm totally reweaved with that energy and that I have come back to my own body, and as I return to my body, to my own presence, my experience, internal experience, so I release the external situation and I tune in and tune into my love, tune in with the sacred within me. Then from there, I can open my eyes again and the structures begin to dissolve. I come into acceptance of my emotions. So I begin to tune into the emotion, what happened, what story activated within me, what emotion was activated, what is the message of my emotion. Did I go into anger? So what am I defending? And what feels that, do I feel like I need protection? Where is that coming from? And so in a way, I wake up from the dream. But I do that by returning to my body, returning home to myself, reconnecting with the power of love within me, and reconnecting with the sacred within me. So I come back into that resonance that there's nothing to fix, there's nothing wrong. It's just as looking as the sunrise of the sunset that brings me back into my connection, into my alignment, into my remembering and awakening state. It's like when I fall asleep, when I disconnect and separate, then that's the trick that brings me back. And so I hope that serves you. Sending you big, big love and see you next time. Bye bye.